whether it's psychic attack through humans or through, these sorts of beings, it affects us.
Have you ever wondered about psychic protection? Well, today's guest is a top expert in this field, and it's such an honor to have her with us. Hi, my name is Terry. I'm the founder of Shine.Online, your global, holistic, and spiritual practices network. Today, we're exploring the fascinating world of psychic protection with Liz Findlay. Liz is a Starseed, a Reiki Master Teacher, and animal healer. Through her years of training, experience, and reactivated gifts, she focuses on clearing energetic interference and psychic attack. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us today, Liz. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
So I just wanted to get to know you a bit today. Tell us a bit more about how you, this incredible expert in terms of psychic protection.
So I was quite fortunate compared to, I guess, some other people who I've heard speak, that I had a family member who was talking to me about spiritual concepts, specifically reincarnation, from when I was quite little. So I had my world exposed to this. And I grew up in South Africa. And I remember as a teenager that I think there was just one shop that I knew of in the local mall that sold, I guess you could say, esoteric stuff. That I just found myself wandering round and round and round. So I had this fascination with that. And I guess I started seeing a healer, the same healer as this family member was seeing as a teenager. And so it was a nice gradual, integration with the spiritual world and spiritual communities and spiritual concepts. So
you felt comfortable in that world from a young age. It wasn't so foreign to you.
So I've heard lots of people say, they had this massive awakening 2 years ago or something, and it was quite a shock to the system. I mean, look, I've had some dark nights of the soul. But yeah, in terms of integrating into these spiritual concepts, was quite young. And
you get into the psychic world, the psychic protection world?
Well, I actually never intended to work with any of this, but this family member had trained in Reiki, and by the time I moved to the UK, I was bored of all the books that I read in the local library, and I think I found a Reiki book, and I was like, okay, well, let's check this out. And I happened to mention, well, I think I might do a Reiki level 1. And this family member offered to pay. Like, yes, I think that's a great idea. So I just thought I was going to merrily do these healings and help people, and everyone's going to feel happy. And it was once I'd started my own business, I left a property job, and I started this, and I was living in London at the time, London, UK. And I had my own treatment room in my home, and somebody came. I felt so unwell, but I knew that there was nothing wrong with the person, or I knew intuitively, just keep going with the session. And I was sweating. And anyway, I won't tell you any more details, but afterwards I phoned a psychic friend and I was like, what on earth was that? Because my client left very happy, like, wow, I feel amazing. I was not feeling so great. And my psychic friend said there was an entity in this person that was extracted through my body and out. And I was like, no, thank you very much. My body is not to be you.
Was this the first time you had heard of this thing of where entities could go through you? Was that your first exposure?
I think I'd always heard of things, out there that have happened to other people, but I didn't know that it would spontaneously happen. Like, I thought a practitioner would, with intention, try and extract the entity.
Mm.
I didn't know that I'm just trying to do a Reiki session and it's just going to happen. But you see, I know my higher selves and my teams in spirit were very much like, right, Liz, this is part of your training. because I started declaring before every single client session, I'm a sovereign being and I am not to be used. My body is not to be used for this purpose. And yeah, those declarations fell on deaf ears because it happened 3 times where this extraction would be through my body. And I was like, no, the fact that my declarations are not even helping, it does mean that my higher selves are like, no, Liz, you've got to train in this. And so that's when I started seeking out courses, giving me tools to try out and see what works for me. And so, yeah, it was never part of my plan, but I think it was in the small print of my sole purpose here on earth. So that, yeah, that's how it happened.
And so through, I imagine through your training, but also through your experience, you've developed your own approaches and techniques.
Well, yeah, and I'm not scared of cherry picking. And I encourage everyone with anything that I teach, cherry pick what you like, merge it in with your own stuff, with other people's stuff. So I have taken from all the different trainings, all of my different experiences, and I'm like, right, I like that. That works with this. Ah, yes. And weave in, and it's ever evolving. That it's not like I have a set method and this is it. This is the one that has to be used. I'm constantly finding things, like I've got some notes on my phone and I'm like, oh, I've got to add to it. Oh, right, yes. And it's manageable. Like I realize my team and spirit are not like dumping everything on me in one go because that'd just be too much. But it's coming into my consciousness at the right point in time where it's like, now remember that procedure there? We've got an extra little note that you can add in there. And it's like, that makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been working with psychic protection?
Well, I know I trained in Reiki in 2010, which is now 15 years ago. But I wonder when the psychic protection stuff started coming online. I mean, I was dabbling back then, of course, and some of the Reiki symbols that you can use and all of that. But I would say, like, really knowing that this is part of my path and that I just have to level up was probably around 2018. So we're now 2025. So,
do you find that you have clients that reach out to you for help with psychic protection?
Yes, even for their animals.
Really?
For them and their... Yeah, so animals get affected. Like if there are entities in the house, the animals are often the ones to be pretty much saying, hey, there's something in here. So people might book in their animal or, acting strangely or not okay or whatever. And then I check. I mean, I use a combination of my intuition and a pendulum. And then when I start talking, sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense. And actually that brings me back to a memory. I suppose this was part of my training. So when I was a teenager living in South Africa with my parents, the fridge broke. And anyway, long story, but we needed to get 2. One is a fridge, one is a freezer. And the cupboards needed to be adjusted because they wouldn't fit in these new ones. So they were sitting in a separate room and my dad's dog kept barking at the one. And so I booked in to go see the healer that I was seeing, and it's like the dog keeps barking at the fridge. They actually got installed and switched over. And I know they were switched over because handles were in the different place. My dad's dog was still barking at the same fridge. It's not like it was always the one on the right. So when I saw the healer, she also used pendulums and she dowsed and she's like, there's an energy on that fridge, right? She's going to clear it. And although I trusted her and she'd helped me so much, there was a part of me like, really, you're going to swing a pendulum and the dog is going to stop barking at the fridge? Okay. I got home, my dad's dog never barked at that fridge again.
Oh my gosh.
Now, you don't tell a dog, by the way, I've just been to a healer, she swung a pendulum, all's good now. There's no placebo effect with animals like that.
No, that's amazing. Now, first of all, that's surprising to me that there could be a negative energy in an inanimate object like a fridge. That's Wow, that's weird to me. That, of course, this whole topic is weird, but yeah, that's interesting. If you clear a home, will that settle down the animals, or do you actually have to work on the animals too?
I think it helps to work on them too, but I guess if there is, say, a negative portal that is open in the home that is letting in very low vibe beings, if you can, extract them, seal that, and, deal with that, then the source of the stress is at least removed. But it will certainly help, a bit like us, some energy rebalancing and that sort of thing. It will help them in the recovery because, let's face it, any of these, whether it's psychic attack through humans or through, these sorts of beings, it affects us, and we can have, I guess, what you could call etheric wounds that, and our whole energy systems, you can feel very out of sorts, and then just to have it brought back into balance, it can really help.
Wow. You are such a wealth of information, and I'm so grateful we got to know you a bit more today. To you, our viewers, if you'd like to know more about Liz, you can check out her Shine.Online webpage, which we'll have linked in the description. On her page, you'll be able to find her monthly webinars. Liz has amazing webinars and a lot of resources on YouTube as well. So thank you so much, Liz, for taking this time to get to know you a bit more today. It's a great honor to meet you.
Well, thanks so much for chatting. I loved coming on here.
And to you, our viewers, we love you. We are grateful for you. And we will see you in the next video.